And welcome back. Joining me now is Congressman Ted Lieu, Democrat from California and Vice Chair of the House Democratic Caucus. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with your reaction to what we were just discussing before the break. President Trump's comments urging elections to be nationalized, in his words. Now, Carolyn Leavitt clarified that he was referring to the SAVE Act, but do you buy that explanation?
Yeah. Thank you, Gabe, for your question. First of all, the president has no power to nationalize elections. The Constitution says that the time, place, and manner of elections are to be reserved to the states, and that's in Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution. Congress can alter that, but you need a congressional law to do so, and Democrats are going to fight like hell to make sure that that does not happen.
And Congressman, we are actually watching live pictures right now. We're monitoring the president in the Oval Office. We understand he's getting set to sign that bill signing right there. We see House Speaker Mike Johnson right next to him. They have just started the event, and we're monitoring it, and we'll see if he takes any questions. But I want to continue talking to you, continuing with our interview. How seriously should we take the president's comments about potentially nationalizing elections?
We should absolutely take it seriously because House Republicans and Senate Republicans seem like they have no independent thought and they just do what the president wants. So we need to make sure we push back and make sure that they do not nationalize elections through a congressional law. And Democrats are going to, again, fight like hell to make sure that does not happen.
And talking about Democrats' messaging here, Congressman, how much should Democrats focus on things like this, should focus on his comments? Does it risk distracting from the party's overall message on the economy?
We can absolutely do both. I'm glad you brought up the economy. The producer price index came out recently, and it came in hot, hot, hot. Inflation is up. Expectations were it was going to be a 0.2% increase. It was actually 0.5% increase, meaning that the tariffs costs are now being passed along to consumers. And so we need to make sure we continue to focus on affordability and at the same time make sure we respect our voting rights and make sure we have ballot box integrity. And that's what Democrats are going to continue fighting for.
And Congressman, turning now to today's vote to end the government shutdown, again, as we watch those live pictures from the Oval Office, what is your message to your fellow House Democrats who voted for today's funding package?
So today's funding package shuts down DHS in essentially 10 days if there is no agreement to reform Trump's out-of-control ICE and Border Patrol. And the demands that Democrats are asking for are making sure that ICE and Border Patrol behave and conduct themselves in accordance with what real police officers do. Real police officers don't wear masks. Real police officers wear body cameras. Real police officers cooperate in investigations. Real police officers use judicial warrants. So we're just making these common sense demands, and we urge House and Senate Republicans to join with Democrats and the overwhelming majority of the American public that want Trump's ICE and Border Patrol to just comport with normal standards of what every other police officer comports with.
You know, I don't have to tell you, this is the third time in less than a year, though, that House Democrats have spoken out against a spending deal negotiated by Senate Democrats. Do you worry about party divisions here, especially in a midterm year?
Both House and Senate Democrats are unified and making sure that we reform and have dramatic changes to Donald Trump's out-of-control ICE and Border Patrol. And we're very unified on demanding and trying to implement these changes in the next 10 days. Otherwise, the Department of Homeland Security will shut down.
And you mentioned these changes. I want to see if I can get you to talk about specifics here. The House Democrats say you must have meaningful reforms to DHS. What constitutes meaningful reform here?
ICE and Border Patrol agents cannot wear masks. They have to wear body cameras. By the way, the Department of Homeland Security reversed and backtracked, and now they're mandating body cameras for all their agents in Minneapolis. And that shows the public pressure from Americans is working. And I urge the American people to continue exercising their First Amendment rights. We also want to make sure that ICE and Border Patrol use judicial warrants. They can't just use these fake, made-up administrative warrants from the executive branch. They have to get judicial warrants from the separate branch of government, the judicial branch. They've got to cooperate in state and federal investigations if there is officer misconduct, such as any excess use of force. So these are just common sense reforms that have to be put in place before Democrats are going to vote for any additional DHS funding.
You know, Congressman, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he called quick DHS reforms, quote, an impossibility earlier today. Let's listen to what he said.
We got a very short time frame in which to do this, which I argued against, but the Democrats insisted on a 2-week window, which, again, I don't understand the rationale for that. Anybody who knows this place knows it's an impossibility.
So does the Senate Majority Leader make a decent point there?
I find it a very curious point because he's a Senate Majority Leader. Republicans control the Senate, and they passed a bipartisan bill that had this 2-week deadline that expires funding for DHS on the 13th of this month. By the way, all Donald Trump has to say is get this done, and I bet you Senate Republicans will get this done.
And Congressman, quickly, Democrats, they could not secure an extension of the ACA subsidies. So why do you think DHS reforms will be different this time around?
So the House, pushed by House Democrats and our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, through a discharge petition, did get a 3-year extension of ACA subsidies passed off the House floor with 17 Republicans joining us. It's now on the Senate side, and we asked the Senate to also pass that bill. We also understand the Senate is also negotiating their own deal on extending ACA subsidies, so I believe it will happen, and that is my belief.
Well, Congressman Ted Lieu, we really appreciate your time on this very busy day. Thank you so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.